Hello. Thanks for listening to episode 7 of Pop Culture English. Today, we're going to be talking about the video game Valorant, a tactical hero shooter that's been very popular since its release 5 years ago. A tactical hero shooter. What does that even mean? Well, let's find out. The first thing you should know is that Valorant is a type of video game called a first-person shooter, or FPS for short. A shooter game is a video game where using a ranged weapon, such as a gun, makes up an important part of its gameplay. In shooter games, you typically control a character who fights enemies with a gun. That's why this type of game is called a shooter, since playing shooter games involves shooting your weapon a lot. Now, what does the first-person part of a first-person shooter mean? Being set in first person means that you play the game from the point of view of your character. This means that you see a gun held out in front of you as if you were holding the gun yourself. Games like Call of Duty or Battlefield are first-person shooters, whilst a game like Fortnite is something else, known as a third-person shooter. Valorant, though, isn't just any first-person shooter. It's also a hero shooter. A hero shooter is a type of FPS game where there are many different characters a player can choose to play. Each character has their own skills and abilities. So each character has their own unique playstyle. The playstyle of a character refers to the way in which this character is meant to be played. Sometimes the characters in a hero shooter are known as heroes. That's where the name of the genre comes from. A well-known example of a hero shooter is the video game Overwatch. In that game, there are not only heroes, but hero classes as well. Some heroes are called damage heroes, meaning their job is to do as much damage as possible to the enemy team. Other heroes are called tanks, meaning their job is to absorb or tank as much damage as possible inflicted by the enemy team. Finally, some heroes are support heroes, and their job is to mainly heal their teammates. Thus, instead of a game where everyone plays in the same way, each player can now choose one specific role they enjoy playing and get really good at it. Valorant is the same. It too has different hero classes. In addition to being a hero shooter, Valorant is also a tactical hero shooter. What does this mean? When we say that an action is tactical, it means that the action was carefully planned, well thought out, and calculated. For example, a politician might participate in a tactical advertisement campaign in order to gain more votes. Valorant is a so-called tactical shooter because playing Valorant requires lots of thought, calculation, and strategy. A game of Valorant is divided into many shorter rounds. To win the game, you must win 13 rounds in total. Now, you can't just blindly run forwards and shoot your gun if you want to win. Instead, you need to think about how exactly you're going to approach the round, what strategy you'll take, how you'll play with your team, and how you'll counter the enemy team's strategies. Thus, becoming a good Valorant player requires more than good aim. These three qualities of Valorant, it is a first-person shooter, a hero shooter, and a tactical shooter, mean that the game is very competitive. When a game is competitive, it means that competing against other players is an important part of that game's gameplay. Valorant is a competitive game, whilst something like Minecraft is not a competitive game. Almost all sports, such as soccer, basketball, or tennis, are competitive games too. Now, because Valorant is very competitive, it actually has a growing esports community. Esports, a word short for electronic sports, are a growing form of competition where professional esports teams play against each other in a video game. A professional, by the way, is someone who engages in an activity as their career, or in other words, to make money. There are many professional Valorant players who play Valorant as their professional career. Some of them have even won hundreds of thousands of dollars just from competing in tournaments or competitions alone. So, if you're interested in first-person shooters, or if you're interested in esports, give Valorant a try. Plus, if you didn't know a lot about esports before today's podcast episode, maybe you could learn a bit more about it. I think, at the very least, that esports is a very interesting form of competition that can be as exciting to watch as normal sports like soccer or tennis. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and that you've found it helpful. If you have any feedback or any suggestions for future episodes, please let me know. Until next time.